Did you know that there's a big housing shortage here in Rotterdam? One of the reasons for this is the fact that there's a lot of new international students coming to the city every day. This increasing number of either Dutch students or international students makes it there's simply not enough space for them to sleep, to stay, to live. Did you know that even political parties talk about this issue and think that's a really big and important threat to the Dutch university society? The thing is that if people are lucky enough to get a room here in Rotterdam, then their housing situation is really, really bad. It's not clean, it's not good taken care of, and research has shown that students in Rotterdam pay on average more than 100 euros a month too much. So this is a problem, right? If you're watching and you're a student, I can imagine you being really mad and angry about this. To see how big this problem is in Rotterdam, we're gonna ask some actual students to see how they experience this problem. Do you live in Rotterdam?
No, I live at home with my parents.
Okay, so what made you make that decision to not live in Rotterdam where you're actually studying?
Well, basically because it's too expensive to rent a room. So yeah, I decided to just stay at home.
I wasn't able to find a place before the year started, and I didn't want to move here while studying because that would be too much.
Do you live in Rotterdam?
Oh yes.
So, and you're studying in Rotterdam as well, right?
Yes.
So you're renting a room like a student?
Yes.
Okay, so did you think that it was hard to find a room?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
But would you say that you're happy with your current living situation?
Well, no, because I really want to live here in Rotterdam because it's much better to travel to Rotterdam when you're in Rotterdam itself. And so, yeah, no.
So would you say that students are paying too much? Would you say that the quality of the house is not that good? Or what's your opinion about that?
I think you pay too much for the quality that you get and also the amount of space that you get. Because we looked at a few places and there was like mold everywhere and they were not gonna like change it. They were just like, that's up to you. And still the price was like the average price. So like that was not very good.
Do you think that here in Rotterdam you're paying too much for what you get?
Well, yeah, it's a little bit expensive. I pay 400 euros a month.
Wow, that's quite a lot. So, would you say that if we would be able to offer you an opportunity to live in Rotterdam for, well, which per amount a month, then you would pay now? Would you like that? Would you be interested?
Yeah, I would very be interested. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
So, what would you like if I were to give you an opportunity to live in a rather big room with a good price that you have to pay for it? Would you be interested in it? Here in Rotterdam?
Probably.
Okay. Give you an opportunity, say like you get a good room for only 200 euros a month, but you'd only be able to live there for a maximum of 3 years or something. That would be fun.
Yeah.
Okay, well thank you very much. That's it. Now that we've seen the problem here in Rotterdam, we need to find a solution. And we've got it. Look around and see one of the beautiful anti-squatting buildings that is available for students here in Rotterdam. Let's take a look inside. I'm Rachel and you're watching Legal Layover. Throughout this series, I will give you an insight into the most amazing anti-squatting buildings throughout Rotterdam. Anti-squatting is actually a very interesting concept because it's a cheap way of living, it's contemporary, so there's no long time contracts, and you will live in the most unique places throughout Rotterdam. Let's take a look inside.
Inside.
Thank you. So, you're living in an anti-squatting building.
Yes.
So what made you make this decision?
Oh, I wanted a cheap place to live. It was quite hard to find a room because everything in Rotterdam is like super overpriced and really overbooked because there's a lot of people. And then I happened upon this and I was like, this is the best thing ever. Living in an old office building, uncle single, I mean, what else would you want? And I live with other people, so it's super fun. There's always people around. If I'm bored, just go to the kitchen, hang out, and yeah, it's just a really nice way to live. It's really unique.
And there's a lot of people who think that living in a contemporary building, well, kind of makes that you have to leave directly. Is that true?
No, you always get like a month ahead of time.
I do not see any bad things about anti-squatting. Let's take a look at the next room. Thank you. Okay, so what would you say are the benefits of living in an anti-squatting building?
Well, first of all, the cheap living. I pay a lot less rent than for example, my cousin does. here in Rotterdam, and we live on the best spot that you could live in Rotterdam, so why not?
So would you say that this is the best solution for students here in Rotterdam?
Yeah, I would think so, because it's perfect if you're looking for a room on a temporary basis. I mean, during your studies, like 3 years max, and a place that's cheap and a nice living location. Why wouldn't you be interested as a student?
I'm interested. Okay, thank you very much. As you probably already know now, the purpose of the show is to raise awareness for anti-squatting and all the possibilities that it has and the chances that it gives you. Other than that, we want to give it put it into a good spotlight and giving it a better reputation, because it helps you so much. It's, according to us, it's the best solution to the current housing problem. Thank you for watching, and we'll hope to see you next week.